Hi, everyone. Welcome back to J&B Lightworkers. I'm Beth, and this is Judy. And we are here to talk about the light and the transformation and changes that are happening today in this world of, like so many changes are happening, right, Judy? What's
Oh,
happening there that we need to be enlightened about?
I mean, there is so much happening right now as we're starting our battle, right? As we're, going into the, leaving the third dimensional realm and starting to, on our way up to the fifth dimension. So it's there's a lot happening. Just look around the world. I don't think anybody hasn't been affected in the past years.
And it's now a global world, so we're all affected. Can I read something? We were talking about dimensions last time, and I want to talk about, I read something on the internet that I liked. It said, dimensions are not places or locations. They are levels of consciousness that vibrate at certain rates. Each vibration vibrates at a high, or each vibrational level vibrates at a higher rate than the one before or below. In each higher dimension, there exists a clearer, wider perspective of reality, a greater level of knowing. Isn't that a nice definition? Because everybody's saying it's a new earth and where are we going? Where are we going? And I don't think we're going anywhere. I think we're being different, right?
I like how you said the word being, because we are beings. We're doers on earth. The 3D is the doer. The fifth dimensional is the being, right? And we're beings, we're
Right.
human beings. So whoever came up with that name for us is correct. But it's getting out of the human doer and getting into that being, and just if we could embrace that, the more that we embrace that, the love that can come through. It just
I'm having a little trouble because I don't know if I'm getting old and senile or I'm getting enlightened, because taxes are not calling to me. All of that 3D kind of like bullshit, bull is not calling to me. And I'm wondering, why am I used to be so on top of things. Is that part of what's going on?
there's just a lot happening that we don't even know, with the energies that are going on that are really affecting us. Some people say the 5G networks and different things and all these different energies that are kind of
Wow.
infiltrating. I'm not really sure, but it's but a lot of things are changing, and they're changing. I think they're changing faster now energetically as the veil thins.
Yeah. When you say the veil thins, Judy, what do you mean? And by the way, Judy is an amazing medium, angel reader, and intuitive psychic. What do you mean by the veil thinning?
The veil is between, so okay, when we come down here as a soul, we come down through a veil. That's why we don't remember anything. We grow up and we're wondering, what's our purpose? What are we doing? And now we're coming to a time where that veil between heaven and earth is thinning. So we're going into our spiritual realm. We're kind of getting closer to that other side where God is, and the light. And a lot of people are feeling anxious and agitated, but it's a different thing.
I heard a good quote the other day. It said, things are not getting worse, they're getting uncovered. And they have
Yes,
to get uncovered to be transmuted into the light. Tough
that's right.
times,
And
tough
change
times.
and things are changing, and change is never easy, but the best changes are not easy. Going on vacation, taking that 15-hour trip to like Australia or something, and you get there and you're jet lagged and you're like, for like 3 days, you're just trying to kind of get into it. And it's the same type of thing. It's the change isn't easy, but once you get over the change, just as an analogy. And so one of the things I do come up with a lot of stories. But I think that, it's the same thing here. We just have to know that the changes that we're going through are not always easy, but they're taking us in the right direction.
Right. And that's what we have to do. We have to trust. So let me read this little quote I just loved. I was reading today. It says, and this is really why Judy and I are doing this channel is so that we can help people, we can spread our light and help other people spread their light and have a cumulative sort of experience collectively. It says your inner knowing is one of your greatest superpowers. It's always guiding you and leading you toward your higher purpose. Whenever that inner knowing guides you to take a big step, you've got to listen to it and take the leap. Take the action even when it doesn't make sense to your mind, because the spirit operates from a place that is beyond the mind. That's what we're talking about, beyond the mind. The mind can't comprehend the infinite nature of our inner knowing. The more you follow the guidance of your spirit, the more the universe reveals the path to you. Everything becomes magical when you start trusting your spirit over your ego.
Yes. And that's kind of what we're talking about, just staying on that road, being in faith, and just know that it's going to the right place. You know, if it feels right in your spirit, your heart, your soul, just keep at it. It might be hard and different, but it's going to take you to that right destination where you need to be. I know it's scary when you think about your taxes. It's like, but you just got,
Well,
we
it's
all gotta go through
also,
that.
it's also hard because sometimes, I love that quote. I have a lot of quotes, sorry, but what was it? Oh, I think God has me confused with someone who can handle all this. I think that quote, sometimes it just feels like it's so much. So that's why we're here. Judy helps me get through my dark nights of the soul. I help Judy get through her dark nights. I'm a psychotherapist. I help my clients. She helps her people she reads for. And it's just got to keep going. And that's what we're here to do. They say that we can either move towards creating bad karma again or move into the light. So we definitely want to move into the light. And Judy, your gifts are just so amazing. They're just so amazing. And I want you to, I want to know when you are a medium, when you're bringing through people, maybe we could bring through my sister today, because she's here all the time, I know. What are you like in 5D? Is my sister in 5D? Is that where she is?
Yes. So once you cross over, you're in the knowledge. You're not, you've got the spirit, I guess the spiritual knowledge, from the beginning. And I think that
the big picture.
Yeah. So she knows what you're supposed to be doing. She knows now what she was supposed to be doing on Earth. She knows what she needs to work on, or what she's already worked on up there. So she already has this figured out. She's down here for you now to help guide you. And this is part of her life purpose too, and her soul growing. So she is up in the 5D, helping you to guide you so that way you stay on track to 5D. And that's kind of what guides will help you to kind of do. And the gift of a guide is that they know what it's like to live on Earth. They know what it's just the ickiness of down here. And they also, but they have the guidance, they have the light. They're right there with God.
When you say they can help us, what kinds of things can they help us with? Because, it's not like I can get a hug or I can see a material, thing. Well, you're saying I can get a hug, I know, but I don't feel them.
Yeah. And that's the thing is becoming closer, feeling, sometimes just asking if they're there, and just feeling, sometimes you'll feel like, sometimes people say that whether a brush on the cheek can be and that can be your angel as well, but it depends on who you're calling on. You might feel somebody holding your hand. I know when I'm reading for people, sometimes it'll be like, well, they say they're holding your hand, just be quiet for just like a couple of moments and see if you feel that. And a lot of times, I'm getting goosebumps now. Okay. And they'll say that it's, that usually they'll say that they feel something, and you go with it because it's very light over there. It's over here. We have to speak with these voices. They're heavy. Over there, they kind of whisper. So when I'm teaching people to even talk with the other side, and they're like, I just can't do it. It's like, okay, we all can, one way or another. Not all of us are mediums, but but your sister, you can definitely talk with your guide. That's for sure. And so, but we're waiting to hear them talk like we're talking right now with these heavy voices. that can yell and scream, but they don't talk that way. And when they communicate, sometimes it's feeling, it's voice, it's, I'll see her like, her sister likes to stand like this a lot, and she's very stern. So she's a great, beautiful soul. But those are the ways that they'll come by, but it's different for all of us as well.
I think it's so interesting to know that I don't think down here we can actually know if we're on the right path sometimes, because sometimes it's counterintuitive, the things that we're supposed to do. It just doesn't feel right. But then some part of us takes the leap, like I said in that reading, and you will know later, oh, that was the right one. Because there's a joke, there's only two mistakes you can make in a relationship. One is staying too long, the other is leaving too soon. So you know what I mean? And you're like,
Yeah.
which is it? I don't know.
And I think that that's just something you really need to follow your heart, and your heart usually knows. It's just making those scary changes. And again, we go back to how, when we started this conversation today about changes, how changes are for the good can be really scary when they're taking place. It's like, oh my gosh, like I remember when you were divorced your first time, and I was reading for you, and it was like, and you were coming to Texas, and it was just, it was, it's like, ooh, but I know it's scary to walk away.
You didn't want me to leave, but you had to say, yes, you're supposed to go. There's some
Yeah, it's like there was this
that
thing
you're
on
supposed
inside
to
of me
have.
going, yeah. Oh gosh, I don't know what my camera's doing today, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm just like in and out. So Deborah, help
So-
us. We need help with it, with the lighting.
So do you want to try to bring Deborah through and just see if she has any wisdom for the collective, for everybody here that's joined our channel? And thank you so much for joining our channel. It means a lot to us.
Yes, and Deborah's here, and she just says, collectively for everybody, she says, you have to know that you are loved.
Mhm.
Even on your darkest day, the lightest light is shining on you. And it's hard to know that in your heavy 3D world, but you have to believe and know, and you have to find it in your heart that if you have found this channel and you're searching, you are definitely searching for the light. You're searching for where to go next on your journey. And
You know what I love so beautiful about that? That's so beautiful, is I think there were many times she did not know that herself. So she's probably, now she's crossed, she's in the light, and she knows it's an important message for a lot of people.
and that's the feeling I was getting. And of course I've read for her many times, but I'm, staying on task with her here today. And it's just kind of a thing of, yeah, she had a very hard time with that, and in her human form, living in this 3D body, in this 3D world, 3D business, taxes, everything, just all the stuff.
Family hero in the family of origin dynamics. A lot of stuff going on for her. She was a really beautiful soul who had a lot of struggle.
And
So go ahead.
yeah, I know. I was just going to say, in being the hero, what a lot of stress to put up with, right? I mean, and any of those stances are not in the family of origin that you as children in the family may take. None of them are easy. They're just different.
So there's different roles in families of origin, and they're multi-generational patterns, and the roles are the hero brings esteem to the family. The scapegoat, just everybody gets to disown their dark side because they're the acting out kid. There's a lost child, they're in the corner with a book, and everyone's so grateful because they have no needs, and the squeaky wheels are getting the grease. And then there's a mascot. I was a mascot. The mascot is usually the youngest, and they're cute and funny and charming, and they distract from the family pain because they need comic relief. And the problem is they're very codependent because they never know how to take care of themselves. That's been a journey I've been on for a long time. As a matter of fact, one of my best friends just texted me. I said, I just went to San Antonio, stayed in this amazing hotel for my 35th AA birthday. And she said, I love how you take care of yourself and honor yourself. And I said, well, thank you. Someone has to do it, right?
And what
My
better than,
job. I am changing the family pattern. I'm changing
yes,
it for generations to come. And I
and you,
know we all want that are watching this, and we
and
can do
you,
that. We
and I just
can.
want to, and we can, and we are, and you are, and I mean, you're the first one to go to college in your family, and now your daughter, she went to college and got her
Mhm.
degree. So now you're, it's like everything is changing, and
Yeah.
and when you look at your other family members, they probably just kind of went the way of the wind of the family. And so when you go out there to change, it's kind of scary, but it's very supportive. And you had a very supportive person there that God had given you to help you through those struggles.
Yes. When I was 15, my sister came and rescued me and brought me up to live with her and my grandmother. And she taught me to drive. She helped me get through college. I mean, I can't even believe she still hangs around me. She's probably like, I am so sick of you, Beth. Get on with it. But I think she knows she and I have a purpose together. I think she would have liked to have done it on the planet. Are you hearing her right now?
Yeah, I mean, she's over here and she's just, I see her, she just kind of laughs a little bit with you because, and she, in a way, because but she really wanted to go to school and didn't feel like she could. Because of the
She's
hero
so
stance.
smart.
Well, she was really smart, but because of the hero stance, she had to be making money. She was the firstborn. She was expected, no, 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 you go out, you make money. School, nah, that's for those people over here. Those are for the people that don't have to work or whatever what was going on. And it just wasn't something that was really important in your family. And so she, being the hero, kind of said, okay, well, then I got to do this. So she went and did this. And like you were saying, you're the tail end, and you kind of raised yourself in a lot of ways, where she came and rescued you, and and then your grandmother and everybody just kind of came together and were there to help you. And you can't think that this wasn't done by accident, right? I mean, this was all done by divine intervention and something that was planned before you even came down here. And see, this is the veil. When you came through, just like everybody else, it was kind of forgotten. But it's easy to kind of look back now and go, wow, look at how things just kind of work out.
Unfolded.
Mhm.
Yeah. And right after she passed, you and I were having breakfast, and she said, and I mean, this is how I knew. You never met my sister. I never talked to you about my sister. And she said, Beth, we had a tough time, but every opportunity that came your way, you took it. I didn't do that so much because she was a hero. She was taking care of everybody else. And I'm like, this is my sister talking. It made me a believer that you definitely were talking to her. And sometimes she likes to work me to death. And I think she orchestrated this somewhat, didn't she? This whole channel.
She did, but God did. So see, this has all been kind of planned, and she's now just basically kind of in this. She's like the cheerleader. She's there to help you. It's like
Mm.
she's still kind of holding your hand. So your big sister is still here. The person that
Oh,
helped you then is helping you now, and they never leave us. This is the thing. People leave the earth, but they go up. She can help you more from up there than she could ever have done down here. And um she was very, she was very tortured in a lot of ways, and coming out of an alcoholic family,
yeah. The family system was, it was a medical issue, not a moral issue, but we
right.
did have the multi generations of alcoholism, and coming from both the patriarchal and matriarchal sides. And the beauty is I did some breath work, and I went on a very deep journey and with a shaman, and what I got was that she told me, she validated that. She said, because I got sober when I was, I have 35 years, I have broken the cycle generationally, ancestrally. Did I print
Yes.
that one out? There's a really beautiful thing about that, saying that if you know, every now and then someone will come into a family to break the cycle, and you're going to think you're the most messed up one or the least valuable one. And you're probably healing your ancestors, you know, and they say it's 7 generations back, 7 generations forward. So
That is, and
I have chills. I have chills right now.
that they're with you. You're bringing up, you know,
Yeah.
information from the past, and 7 is such a number. It's like lucky or biblical. I mean,
No, 35 is 8. 358.
yeah. And I
Is
mean,
that your,
eight is like, I have this infinity, which is like an 8. It's like a,
Mm.
so I mean, I wear that, it just, you know, for prosperity
Oh,
and
7 years back, 7
7
years
years
forward. You're
forward.
saying that's why they're saying that. 7 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, they say every 7 years we have all new cells in our body. We're totally new people.
yeah. And
Oh, that makes sense. That's why it was 7 years. I didn't understand that.
and when you, and it wasn't easy, you know, for you, but you had the help and you
Yeah,
persevered.
think,
Yeah.
huh?
And you were helped, you took the help and you persevered, right? And did what you needed to do, and
Yeah.
you know.
But you
And
know,
I'm
I just,
your grandmother was named Ruth, right?
Ruth, yeah.
My matriarchal grandmother was named Ruth, and she was the first one to
Oh,
visit me when I was sitting at the edge of my bed. Grandma
oh, well,
Ruth.
tell us about that adventure.
Well,
When was that?
oh my gosh. And I was probably, so my grandmother died when I was maybe, I don't know, 6 months old. So I never really got to know her. And she ended up on, I must have been around, oh, I was young. I was maybe 4. I don't think maybe 5, but I'm guessing probably closer to 4. It was really, I'm not really sure, but around there. Anyway, I wake up one night, and I've had a lot of little things, but this is really kind of cool because my grandmother, I wake up and I see her and she's sitting at the foot of my bed. And I didn't, I felt peaceful. I felt okay. I wasn't scared.
I'm gonna
And
get my drink. Hold on.
sure. Anyway, I'll keep going on. So, and
I was gonna joke. Cheers.
take a break, right? Yeah, I got our Starbucks here, got my matcha this morning. Anyway, so yeah, so she was sitting back to the story. So, and you know, and I just remember I sat up in my bed, and I looked at her, and she said, I am your grandmother Ruth. I'm your mother's
Oh,
I am your mother's mother. And
uh-huh.
I want you to know that I'm always going to be here for you. And that
Wait.
and that everything was going to be okay. And that was it was just it was in and it just happened super fast. And so but I'll always remember that. It's like this imprint. And about I don't know, maybe I told my mom about this lady at the end of my bed. My mom's this devout Catholic woman who, that's like talking about the devil or something. And
Wow.
so I just kind of, you know, I just was like, okay, as a kid, I was kind of like, okay, maybe I'm just kind of, you know,
Am
whatever.
I the crazy one, right?
Right. And so one day my mom took out her picture book, and us kids were standing around it, and we're looking at pictures of just family pictures. And I said, and I see my picture of my grandmother, and I just knew who she was, but I never remember. I was maybe 6 months old, maybe, when she passed. And I said, Mom, is that your mom? And she said, yes. And I said, yes, Grandma Ruth, right? She's like, yes. And she said, yes. And she said, I said, that's the lady that was at the end of my bed. And I'm just getting goosebumps now again. Anyway, so she just gets shocked, like, you know, like she didn't know what to say. And and I was happy. I'm like, see, I'm redeemed. This is the person, but he's at the end of my bed. And she took the picture book and she didn't know what to do. She shut it. And she said, we'll come back and look at the pictures later on. I have to get lunch ready or something or other. And it was the last time we really talked about it. She never brought it up again. And I just knew it was one of those things that we never talked about. So I know my grandmother Ruth is around. And especially when I was younger. And I think that's kind of interesting. I just kind of brought that together. You have a grandma
Yeah.
Ruth. So
Yeah, we both have a grandma Ruth that really helped us. So do you think she is your guide, like my sister's my guide?
I think she was my guide growing older. My
Oh.
guardian angel came in as my guide, which is kind of when I was really learning how to do all this years later. And I've had other guides, but definitely Grandma Ruth has been there for me. And yeah, so I think,
One thing I wanted to mention that someone said that I thought was very interesting is that a lot of people are afraid. I was thinking of your mom. A lot of people are afraid of their gifts or other people's gifts because they think, that it's almost like an ancestral wounding from like the days of persecution when you had these gifts and you were burned at the stake or you were considered to be witches. Yeah, right.
many
And I
times.
think, and now what we have to tell people is we're in a new era and this isn't going to happen anymore. People might not agree, but it's not dangerous. You're not going to be burned at the stake, right?
Well, especially right now where we live now in other countries and other cultures in Saudi Arabia or other places like that, there's still a lot of that going on. But if you're born in a country where you're able to really be able to use your gifts and to be able to really bring in the light and let it shine and bring it to other people, that's a gift in itself. And there's a reason why you're here and not there. And they're just like there's a reason why people in those cultures are there and not in a freer culture like ours. I mean, it's
To learn different lessons.
yes, we're all at spiritual places. And I feel like, when I see a lot of the Mideastern world, it's just they're coming through their phases too. So like that's where, I mean, algebra came out of there, yet there's no I can't think of an amazing college or university that has come out of the Middle East right now. And there's
Where they have gifts, but they may not be developing. And isn't
right, the
that what
women,
we're saying?
the women are though. So women
Yeah.
did have a lot of power back in the day, back in
Mm.
like Jesus's times, like 2000 years ago. And now we have all these changes. It's like they're talking about women able to drive in Saudi Arabia. And so I mean things are, it's horrible over there. They take gay people and throw them off roofs of buildings. It's just, there's just a lot of fear. I think it just comes from fear.
And that's why this enlightenment has to be global.
Yes.
And
And
we
the
are
more,
one collective soul.
yes, we're all under the same God, whether you believe in Muhammad and you or Jesus or whatever thing it is, you're going to the light. Just follow what their basic teachings are, and they're all love. It's just all these man-made things that are put on top of all this stuff that have made it to these crazy maniacal, I don't know, kind of religions. And I use that word loosely. I'm using air quotes here, Beth. So little bunny ears.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
So this weekend I went and I did some breath work and how do I know if this is truth or my own imagination? One of the things that came through, you've been trying to get me to, you keep saying I can channel and you keep saying, I want you to see who you channel. There's a very wise something. What I got, and I don't even want to say this out loud because it feels so, I mean, I say this with all humility. I channel Christ consciousness.
Yes.
So is this my ego or is this my wisdom? How do you know the difference?
you're gonna know because it's in your heart. And like you said, you're channeling Christ consciousness. I mean, holy people channel Christ consciousness. I mean, we're supposed to be following Christ and Christ's example in the even in every that's why we call it the Christ consciousness. So if you're not Christian, you are aware of the Christ consciousness.
Yeah, because
And
I'm not religious at all, and especially growing up in a Southern Baptist church. No, thank you. I do not want to think my Methodist friends are going to hell, because they're so so does that resonate for you?
yeah, no. I think you are. I think I pull in the Christ consciousness. I work with the Christ consciousness all the time.
Okay.
When I pray, when I do cleansings, I always call the Christ consciousness in. Um, the
Okay.
white light of the Holy Spirit, golden light of God, purple light of Christ. Okay, I got purple behind me, but I love purple. Purple's my favorite color. Anyway, but I think that yeah, so I mean, I love it that you're channeling this wise person, and it would not, it's not ego, it's Christ, it's his consciousness. He talks to all of us.
It's
It's not like
love.
it's not like you're saying I'm the only one and and Jesus talks to me directly. You're talking about the consciousness of him and pulling in that energy. And
And it's
and
such
it's
a loving energy. It's such a sweet, gentle, kind, compassionate. Believe me, I'm not always like
yeah,
that, but with my clients, I try to be. I really, really, really love my clients.
it's really um and again, it's like that quietness. I've seen you channel when you didn't know you were channeling. So I know
That's
you
what you
channel.
say.
I know this wise person. I've seen it. I know it. I've seen a room go totally quiet when we were at a retreat one night at your house in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And I was sitting back going, wow,
Really?
yeah.
This is that is the psychic surgeon. Remember, a client said, Beth, you're like a psychic surgeon. You go in and you can pull out what needs to. That's that energy I'm channeling. That's not
Yes.
me.
No, you're
So not
channeling.
me. It's like I know, but I don't know how I know. And that's this new evolutionary shift. We're going to know, but we're not going to know how we know.
Right. And
Or not.
because of faith, because it's not something you can go out and
Faith.
prove. It's not
Right.
something, it's not when people have these like the psychic challenges, when they were doing that like 10, 20 years ago, whatever, it's like, you can't do that. I mean, you don't know who's going to be coming in or what kind of messages you're going to be given. God is not tested. Who
The Ouija board. No, 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 no.
Yeah, Ouija board bad. Yeah. I in my younger days, yeah, no. When I was like in my teenager years, yeah, definitely, yeah, don't. And Ouija board bad. If
I just want to say that's why we're doing this too. I just am so grateful. Judy has helped me so much to see the bigger picture, what they call the eagle vision, not the earthbound tunnel vision of the 3D struggle, 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 but when we can rise above it and look down on it from that spiritual perspective, because we're not human beings having a spiritual experience, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. I don't know, it just can heal us so much. And you have helped me, and you bringing my sister through has helped me not to feel so alone.
and that's why I was able, and everything happens for a reason. And when you and I met, and then it was because it was meant to be at that time, and how you and I kind of bonded, and we'll go into a past life thing, probably another thing, but anyway, it was
We've
karmic.
had some,
It was
humdingers,
yeah,
haven't we?
yeah. And
Let's talk about that next time.
yeah, and then but yeah, we come together, and then and then everything happens for a reason, and then all of a sudden, then you know someone, we get to know each other, and then your mom passes away, and then and people just, things start happening, and then I'm just happened to be there to help you. And at that point, I hadn't really been I knew of my gifts, and I've been working on them, and help working, and just kind of doing with my friends or whatever, but I hadn't really done it professionally. And Beth is the one who was like, hey, I'm having a retreat, you got to come, I want you to be there. And so that's when I started doing it professionally. But that's the growth, and this is a lady who gave me the chance to, when I was scared to death, to be out there doing this for real.
And
And
you didn't look like it. You really didn't look scared. You look so competent and confident.
what, you know what I did? I went in there and I asked God and Christ, the Christ consciousness, that you come, please come through and just, I'm doing your work, just be there, just be there within me. And that was them within
Yeah.
me. They're just, I'm just the mouthpiece kind of thing, right? And they're the ones that are getting, they're giving me the messages that need to be heard. And
Speaking of
anyway,
messages that need to be heard, do you think that there are any pearls of wisdom that you can channel for us from maybe from Miriam, your angel,
Marion,
Miriam, or my sister, whoever's up there who wants to give the collective a beautiful message to close on?
Marion is coming through with the same type of message. Here I go, getting all ghosted
There
out
you
again.
are, lit up.
Okay, it's the lighting or something going on. I don't know. When I asked Marion just, and Marion's an angel. So this is how you can tell the difference between angels and not angels. Just so you know, is it's always pure love. Your messages from an angel is always pure love. Guides can be a little bit rougher. They're that earthbound because they know what it's like to be on earth, or that earthbound energy with, of course, knowledge of spirit. And Marion is saying, again, for some reason, this big thing on love. She says, love is the answer. Love is the key. If there's anything, put love out there. And so not just for Beth and I to put love out there and to send to you, but to ask you to just be loving and caring, and to people that you come around with, or people that might bug you, just give them a smile. Just say, God, please help them and help me if they're really on your nerves. It could be a family member. And there's so many things happening in this world right now, so many changes, so many things that we just don't know. There's two constants in life, right? Change is one. Change is always happening. In taxes, sorry, but at least you don't have state tax in Texas.
That's right, we don't.
Yeah, so that's that's a cool thing for you guys. Yeah, but change is a one constant that we're always changing. And if I had kind of a hectic morning, and it's just different things going on, but then you know what, you move through it, and you just it's just the human piece. So it's always about, so what they're telling me today, and it's really what your sister was saying, it's about love. And what I'm getting from Miriam is just like what I said, is that, give love. If somebody's challenging to you, just pray for them and ask for more, ask for a blessing for you. It's okay to do that. God knows what you're going through. It might not seem like it because your prayers aren't being answered in the way that you think that they are going to be answered, but they are being answered. And it's, we won't go into it, but I have a lot of, I'm sure we all,
I know,
Beth and
we
I
have
both.
so much more to share, and I could just go on and on, but I think we better wrap it up.
We could be here all day anyway. So it's just so wonderful to be here and being part of this. And I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much. And what about our information, Judy?
Oh, so the information, this is new to us, but it should be underneath in the description about us. So I actually looked a little bit earlier, and I saw that it might not be there. So what I would like, so we're going to try and fix that. But if you would like, or I do readings. So if you want like a reading or from me, the information should be underneath there. if you want one, or Beth, Beth's not ready to be doing readings, but she's an amazing holistic psychotherapist. You'll love her. She, amazing. And,
I'm only doing telehealth right now, and I'm licensed in California and Texas.
so yeah, you can't go wrong. So, I mean, it's, yeah. So anyway,
All right. Thank you all for sharing this time with us. It was really fun, and we look forward to more fun conversations and some channeling.
and just sending
Bye-bye.
out many blessings and love and light to everybody out there. And we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.